Your time here at the Taft, how do you now you're look we're about 6 years out. Why do you believe, or do you believe that programs like the Duncanson Artist-in-Residence program, why do you think programs like that are important for artists and communities? And how does that mission resonate with your own work? Your
Yeah, it's interesting. So I think programs like the sort of Duncanson residents are important. Why? Because one, um, when you're a kid, right? I'm gonna start there. I can remember being a kid and again having a desire to do this, but having no one around who had done it. And in some ways, when you don't have an example in front of you that says, actually, no, it's possible, right? You think it's impossible. You look at everybody else, you look at other filmmakers and you look at performers and you're like, they can do it, but not me, right? They had something that I didn't have. And I can remember being in high school, and I said I was a poet as well. And my English teacher, she would bring in artists from the community, right? They had written books, or again, they were spoken word artists, or they would do. And I just remember being so inspired by them because in front of me stood somebody who was doing the very thing that I wanted to do. And so, one, it's important that young folks see people like me who used to be them, who started off in the same kind of environment that they live in now, who come from the same kind of community, who might, again, have not ever had someone in front of them who told them that they could do it, that who look like them, right? And so I think it's vitally important that artists like us infiltrate these communities and give back because I don't care if I win an Oscar, I don't care if I become a gazillionaire. None of that really matters, to be honest with you. What matters is the way in which I impact other people who are coming behind me. Because guess what? At some point, y'all gonna get tired of my movies. You're gonna get tired of hearing me talk. You're gonna want the next. And I know some filmmakers think they're immortal. Whatever you think about yourself, that's cool. But I can tell you that people at some point get tired of you. So the best thing you can do is bring somebody else behind you who is doing the work, who has the same mission, right? So that's number one. Number two, I think for artists, this is a difficult time, right? We are not necessarily in a country that really honors artists, right? You have other countries who are giving stipends to artists and writers and painters and filmmakers. There's a lot of governmental funding to make your work, right? Not saying that we don't have that, but it is not as robust as it is in other parts of the world. And so I think for us, to be honest with you, you see the public facing me, but you don't understand that private struggle that I'm dealing with. Where again, I don't feel worthy potentially, where I don't feel like anyone's looking at my work, where I don't feel like anybody wants to see me. And to have somebody say, you know what, not only are you accepted into this residency, but we're going to feature your work. We're going to put you in front of an audience who is interested to hear what you have to say, who is interested to hear about your process, who is interested to learn from you. That inspires an artist to keep going at a time when sometimes we just feel like, what are we doing this for? Because it's hard. It's very, very, very hard. So I think that's the second part of it. And then honestly, I remember when I was there, I just not only did I have just a good time, you know, going and screening the work and going into the high schools, but just really I had a good time in Cincinnati, right? I met some interesting people who took me around, kind of showed me some of the cultural things that were not necessarily on the itinerary for the residency, right? And I think that also, as I said earlier, about meeting new people and listening to people and hearing their stories, being in a new environment also is inspiring to an artist because now you are getting out of your own community. You're meeting people that you probably would not have otherwise had an opportunity to meet had you not been in that particular city or that region of the world. And you're able to pull from them, right? And you're able to be not only inspired by their stories, but also, as I said earlier, you're able to inspire them. And it turns around and inspires the next thing that you might make, right? As I said, I may hear somebody say something or see something that for me, it could be one sentence and it becomes a whole feature film, right? And so I think those are the three. There's so many other things, but I think those are my top three reasons.